Hello and welcome everybody. So in our last video we have seen how to work with if statements. In this video we are going to see how loops work in Rust. So let's see how many loops are available. So loops we use to repeat our code again and again. So if we want to run a piece of code and again, so for that purpose we use loops in our program. So there are three types of loops available in Rust. So first is loop, and our second is while, and our third is for. So let's start with our loop keyword. So here we can see we can use loop like this, and there inside our block code we will use some kind of code. Let's do println, and here, so we are printing here inside a loop. So we are not doing anything that will just let us out of this loop. So when we run this program, our program should be infinitely running and there is no exit condition. So let's run this once. So now you can see we are printing here again and again. So I'm using Ctrl C to stop this, and here we can see we have print here like multiple times. Okay, so this is our condition. So this is our loop, so that is allowing our program to run code again and again. So let's add some condition here. Let a equals to 0, and inside this we are going to do println the value is a. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a plus equals to 1, and a is not mutable, so we can make it mutable. So now we can see we have our a, and inside our loop we are increasing the value of our a. But in this condition again we will be having an infinite loop. So let's add a if condition. If a equals to 10, in this condition what we will do, we will break out of this loop. So what this does right now is we have a variable a, and inside our loop we are printing this value of a. To break out of this loop we have this keyword break, that this break keyword is used to break out of our loops. So for that we have a condition like a equals to 10. In case when a becomes 10 we will break out of this loop. Let's run this. So you can see the value is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, and when we got to the value 10 we break out and the program finished, unlike last time when the program did not finish. Okay, so there are two keywords like this. One is break and the other is continue. So what does continue do is continues our loop without pursuing without going to the next value. So let's add one more condition here. If a equals to 5, what I want to do is continue. So what will happen is we will printing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and when a will become 5 we will continue to our loop, and we will not print that part. Here also I want to increment the value of a, so we can see like one value will not be printed. Here we can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is not printed because what happened is we got to this part a equals to 5, we incremented our a and we continued back to the loop, and we never touched this print line, so this was not printed. So here you can see 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are the two keywords that are continue and break that we can use to manage loops, and this loop keyword is used to manage our loops. Now let's see about inner loops. Let me type a piece of code here and then we will discuss on it. So here we have a piece of code. We are going to check it once. So what will happen is we will get inside this loop and we are going to print our count as a. So currently a is 0. Next we have our b, and we are going inside another loop, and in this we are printing the value of b. Now we have two break statements. First is if b equals to 9, then we will break. If b a equals to 2, then we will break, and b minus equals to 1 and a plus equals to 1. So here we can see this is our outer loop, and we never used any break statement for this, so this would be infinite. And we talk about inner loop, and our value is 10. As soon as we hit 1 minus, this loop will be break, and we are only going to print the value of a, that is count, and never going to print the value of b. So let's run this once. So here we can see our count became 2711, and our remaining is still 10 9 10 9. Okay, because what is happening is every time we are inside this loop, we check this condition, we go b minus 1 and we'll print b equals to 9, and it again changes our value to 10, then we'll print 10, and then we'll go again here, and this cycle continues as we are going to break on 9 and we'll go out of other loop. Okay, so I hope that was that you are able to understand this loop. And now what is the point of it is that our outer loop never exits, and only our inner loop exits, and then the count of our outer loop increases. So we have a condition here for our outer loop to break, but when we use break from inside, only the inner loop breaks and the outer loop doesn't break. So for this we have two ways to do it. Either we can remove this condition from here and we can add it outside the loop. So now if I run this, we can see after two chances it exits. Now the other condition is we can name our loops and we can use those names to exit out of loops. So I can use this loop as count loop. So this is the name of the loop, that is our count loop. Okay, so it is giving us warning, we never used it. So this is our count loop. Now I want to break out of this count loop, so in our break condition I can give like break out of count. Instead of just a simple break, we can give which loop I want to break out of. So now if I run this, we see the same output as we seen when we place this code outside. So why we are doing this is, sometimes in our inner loops we have variables that are inner scoped and we want to use those variables, and based on them we want to exit out of our main loop. So in those conditions this is helpful. Okay, so now we have seen the completely how our loop works, what is our break statements, what is our continue, and how we use name loops. So next is our while loop. So in Rust, most of the conditions that you can do with loops are covered with our loop statements. So any condition that you want to build, you can build with a loop statement. But while and for loop are like a predefined ways we can use. So like if we have a equals to 0 and we want to run it till 10, what we can do is, while a is less than 10, I want to keep running this loop. What I want to do is a plus equals to 1. In this condition we have a while loop, then we have a condition that has to be a true and false, then we have our piece of code. We never used any break statements, we never used any if else statements. Our while loop checks those conditions, and based on that, when that condition is false, we break out of our loop. So we go cargo run. Okay, we never used any print statements. Let's do println. The value is we can print a. So let's run this again. So we can see after 10 times printing, we have seen our values greater than 10 now, and we exited out of the loop. Same way, now let's start with our for loop. So for loop is again used in a specific syntax we use. um, let's say this A is now a list and that has values 1 comma 2 comma 5 comma 3 comma 2 2 something this values. So how we are going to use this with our loop? So now we are going to give a index value. Let mute index equals to 0 index we are going to start, and if let's do the condition, if index is less than how many 5, then what we are going to do, then we are going to print the value of A. Let value equals to A index, then we can use our value to print, and in this case we have to increment our index, so then index plus equals to 1. So here we can see we are just looping through this list and printing the value of this list. So let's run it. We can see 1 5 1 2 5 1 22. So we have used all 5 values. So like we seen in the loop, we used while condition to check this and it was easy. So in the same way we will use a for loop when we are mostly dealing with the list type data. So let's remove it. So we don't need index or anything. Our for loop goes like this: for what value we want, so what value in and the our list, so that's it. So for what value in our list, so what we'll do is for looping every value. Now let's print ln, and the value is our value. So let's run this now again. So here you can see this whole code that we used before with the while loop for looping through this list becomes so easy with our for loop. And any while loop or for loop we can replicate with our loops. It just have more conditions we have to check and makes it a little bit more error prone and not easy. So mostly for loops are the safest way to go. There is no indexing to check and there is no index out of bound errors like that, because we can handle all the values that are going to be there. Okay, so that's how we'll go with our for loop, then while loop, and then our generic loops that we can use. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions regarding loops, let me know down in the comments and I will be happy to help on that. Thank you.